All right, let's go. All right, welcome everyone to First Team Real Estate Wednesday trainings. We appreciate being part of First Team, being part of today. We are lucky to have Steve Osborne here to go over going paperless in real estate. Too as well. Steve's been with us for quite some time. He's the manager of the Oberlinda office, fantastic agent and fantastic person too as well. So Steve.
Shucks. Thanks, Greg. Well, it's funny. Every time I start a talk on technology, something always likes to throw its ugly head at me here. So I'm trying to get in on the. It's asking me to that I'm okay with the recording here. So let me clear my screen. There we go. Okay, can you guys all see everything here?
We're good.
Okay. All right. Well, starting off with this image here, this is really what this is about. It's about freeing up time. And again, what we're talking about here today is going paperless. So just to give you my background, I've been in real estate for 35 years. I started before there was an internet. So I'm not some big techie from a tech firm that, is going to throw a bunch of stuff at you that's, super complicated. My whole motto is if it's not easy, I don't want it. It needs to help my life, not make it more difficult. So I'm going to try to show you guys things today that are going to help you be more efficient, free up more time, and most importantly, help you to work from anywhere. You can be on vacation, you can be sitting on a beach, and you can get things done. Everything that you need to do in real estate other than your boots on the ground things that you can have somebody else run around and do for you if you're not available. But anything else in terms of contracts and even meeting with customers, obviously we're doing Zoom right now. This is something you can do face-to-face, obviously, with your customers as well. So technology, has, come with resistance. All right. And, the car, when it first came out, a lot of people never thought it was going to go anywhere. So a lot of people were fine with their buggy and their horse, but the reality is they got pushed out. And that's really where we're at with technology. Like it or not, in order to do business, we're going to have to stay relevant. And we're going to have to be able to learn the new ways of doing things because it's pretty soon it's not going to be a choice. I mean, you guys that are older remember before there were ATMs and things like this. And we all got on board and now they're second nature. We didn't even think about it. So the big elusive question my 81-year-old mother asked me all the time is, what's the cloud? What's the cloud? I don't understand the cloud. What is the cloud? So, for people that aren't, more and more people know what this is now, but I just saw something funny the other day. It said the cloud is somebody else's computer, which is really true. That's what it is. It's a big, huge central computer that they usually have redundant systems throughout the world. Usually 4 has been the number I've heard, where your information is stored. So the chances of it getting lost are very unlikely. The chances of your files and things getting lost in a fire or some other flood or something like that is way more likely than any of your files being lost in the cloud. So the whole idea of what we're talking about and everything really pretty much is linked to this. So what the cloud enables you to do, and again, the cloud is nothing more than this. It's a storage unit. It's a place to put your stuff. Because these days, your computer really is nothing more than a vessel. Okay, so it is something that is going to house all of this stuff. And a lot of people keep everything on their computers, which I don't recommend doing because if something happens, your computer crashes or it gets stolen or broken or something like that, your information can be deleted. So in order to avoid this, and I still see plenty of people walking around with all of this, my motivation was to start pushing towards paperless was this and this, the dreaded copier. I've had more problems with photocopiers in my life than just about anything else I can think of. If I went to go use it, it was out of toner, it was jammed, it was something. And it usually was when I was in a big hurry to go on an appointment. So when I was able to finally get rid of the paper, I no longer had these problems and got rid of the copier. And these things are still, no matter if they're brand new, we still have problems. So what I'm going to do is kind of show you, a day in the life, a bit of, how an agent works, how I worked, and essentially just push things around rather than copy them. I see agents still, when we were seeing all these offers, they would print 40 offers and just, have this huge stack of paper, versus other agents that would just digitally save these offers and then create spreadsheets and things for their clients. And then they'd email the actual offers to their clients rather than print them out and then go over each one and have these huge files. So we'll start off with the beginning of the day. So I'm sure most of you have some type of organizer or something like that to keep your appointments in, to keep yourself organized, what you need to do, etc. So one of the things, and again, I'm going by Apple, which is what I use. We have the Android equivalent for anybody that would like information on that. Contact me directly. I can steer you in the right direction with that, because a lot of these apps are the same. They're just off of Google Play instead of, Apple Store. But this is actually a Microsoft app. It's called To Do. Okay. And pretty much everything that I'm showing you, there's a free version of it. So you can get started with this without spending a nickel. So To Do, what I like about it, and I ended up getting the advanced version of it because I do a little bit more with it, but I can share my to-do list with other people. I can upload documents and photos and things to it if I need to have somebody take care of something. So what that looks like is like this. So my day. So I'll click on my day and here we go. Sell some houses. So, I can put different categories of things that need to be done. Alarms can be set on them to prompt me when something needs to be done. One of the things I use constantly, this is the only thing that keeps me together here, is my reminders. And I just speak it in to my phone, remind me to, take out the trash when I get home, or remind me to put in my calendar that I have an appointment, Tuesday at 3. So that will then prompt me and set an alarm automatically where I will get it not only on my phone, but it'll pop up on my computer. And if I'm on my iPad, it'll pop up on that too. So all my devices communicate with one another. I don't have to put things in separately on anything. And as I said, I don't keep anything on the computer of value. So if my computer, phone, and iPad got thrown into a volcano, I could borrow Greg's phone, no matter what kind of phone he has. I could log on to everything that I need to do business with from his phone and get things done from his phone. So again, the phone, the iPad, the computer, they're vessels to help us with this moving things around. Okay, so I got my reminders, and now I happen to cruise into Starbucks to get a coffee and run into somebody, and they see my name badge and say, hey, you're in real estate, and I've started up a conversation. Hey, do you have a card? Yeah, I do. Let me get your number. I'll send it to you real quick. Savvy card. Okay, this is something that you guys have for free on the MLS. So not only am I, rather than just handing them a paper card, I'm sending them this, basically an app that they can put on their phone and save. They can call me directly from it. They can email me. They can send it to somebody else. They can see the current listings I have. They can go to my website, my contact info, my bio. All of this is on here. And all I have to do is get their number. And now by asking them for their number, now I've captured their information and I send it directly to them, and they get this robust business card that has all my information on it. And then again, I have their information. So on my way out of getting coffee, I stopped by a new home site for a client that's looking for a property, and pick up a flyer for them. So they want the flyer. So I go to my Genius Scan here. And by the way, can everybody see the screen okay? Where I'm pointing? Okay,
yes.
Good. Okay,
Yes.
so I go to Genius Scan, which is one of many different scan features. And the other cool thing is now these are popping up on individual sites. So you don't even need a separate scan app on a lot of sites now. You can scan things directly from the apps. So I've got something I need to scan and send to somebody. So I click on here, plus, and then hover over the document. It scans it, and then it allows me here. I just press email, and I email it to the client instantly. Or if I want to put it in another area of storage, which we'll get into some of these other areas of storage, I can do that directly from here too. So essentially, I could put it in my file cabinet as well. Okay, any questions so far?
No
Could
questions?
you repeat that one, the scan one, please, Steve?
Yeah, which part did you want to know about?
The beginning, because are we going to get like a list of all these apps?
Well, also a good thing about our classes that we do on Wednesdays is they're all recorded too. So you
Okay,
can
perfect.
watch them over, or you can contact me directly. And yeah, I will send out something with kind of a breakdown of the apps. But there are many with what I'm showing you. I'm just showing you what I use just because I've vetted out some of them. Some are a little more complicated to use than others, or, again, I use a lot of the free ones. Genius Scan here is free. I've never paid a nickel for this. So, but just kind of go over that again. And you can scan multiple documents. I mean, it's not really efficient if you've got a bunch of things to scan because it takes a while. But, if you got 5 documents, you can chink, 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 chink. It will link them together in a PDF. And then you can email that directly from the scan site. Or like I said, you can put it in your file cabinet directly from there. And I'll show you how to do that. So again, just the scanning, it's as simple as this. I click the plus button. These are, files that I had on other things I scanned that I just left in the Genius Scan app. I press this button right here. It scans it. Done. Email it, and away it goes. So Dropbox, this is probably one of the biggest things that got me going with being paperless, because this allowed me to get rid of my file cabinets. And I will tell you, seriously, for the last 10 years plus, I have had no file cabinets in my offices. I just completely use this filing system. And I'll tell you what many of the advantages are. And by the way, Dropbox and Google Drive, there's a number of these sites that do the same thing. These are cloud-based storage areas where you can put your stuff. You can put photos. I have, probably 15,000 photos that are on Dropbox. There's a free version of Dropbox, it looks like this, where they get you started. You can sign up today for free and start files and start loading stuff up. Now it costs, and it's very inexpensive too. It costs to get more storage. But essentially, I think, what do I pay? $13 a month or $10 a month, something like that. And essentially, it'd be like a warehouse with a one file box in it. That's about how much of it I'm using with all my photos and everything. It's a ton of space. So what this looks like when you open it up on mine is this. So all my files are here. So my active listings, active under contract here, closed homes, marketing materials, everything. And what's cool is I can just go to the top here and type in what I'm looking for. And I can be vague about it and it'll pop up in whatever file it's in. So I never spend time searching for things anymore. It's all there. So it's easy to access, easy to find. You're not sorting through files and pulling paper apart and trying to find something. It's all there. So another scenario. Okay, now I'm out to lunch and I get a call, and marketing needs a photo of for the postcard that I ordered, and I'm out to lunch. So what I do is I go on my phone, I click into Dropbox, and I go to my file here of active properties, and I click on this particular property, Dharmera here. And in here, I have, by the way, I have all my documents and reports and everything for that particular home in the file. So every photo, every advertisement, anything that's going on with that property is in that property file. So what I do is I click on Dharmera Pics, and it brings me to this. So now from here, I can hit share, and I can send it, email it to marketing. Or again, I can send it other places as well. I can send things directly to DocuSign from Dropbox if I need something signed. But here I'm able to share, click that, and get back to my lunch, and it goes where it needs to go. So one of the problems that I had early on, I'm not having this as much anymore, but years ago, especially when we did government loans, if you guys remember those, there'd be like an FHA amendatory clause. And for some reason, I always got hit up that I needed to sign this thing the day it was supposed to close. And every time I would get the call, I would be on my beach cruiser or something at the beach, and somebody said, we need this immediately. And you cannot use DocuSign. So in the past, what I would have had to do is mess up a good part of my day by going, to the office or going into a print store or something like that to fax something, where I'd have to sign it and fax it. So, it'd waste hours of my time. So when I found out not everything was, DocuSignable, I had to figure out a way of being able to sign something and send it off. So what I found was Adobe Fill and Sign. Okay. Now, most Adobe, like you can pull up any document now that anybody sends you. And if you have Adobe on your computer, which most computers have it, you can actually sign something directly from your computer. But this is an app that I used that was templated, set up so that I could do it quick. So what I would do is I could save the file from the email they sent me. And see if I can show you what this looks like. Well, I'll kind of round about this, but essentially when I click on and save a file that was an attachment to my email, it asks me what I want to do with it. Do I want to save it to my computer? Do I want to save it to one of my apps? I could save it to Dropbox. I could save it to DocuSign. So I have choices on where I can save this without printing it out and without saving it to my computer first. So Adobe Fill and Sign is one of my options. So I click on that, and then it sends the document to Adobe Fill and Sign. So right here on this referral, okay, so then that shows up. I click on that, and now the document's here. So I go to the bottom, I hit the pin, and now I've pre-done my signature. I don't even have to sign it again. It's already saved in there. All I do then is take my arrow and push it over to where it needs to go and just line it up with the lines. Boom, it's signed right here. Then from there, I can email it. I click this and email it where it needs to go directly from the app. So super easy, super efficient. Again, something that used to take me a long time when I was faced with signing something on the fly. All right, how are we doing? Any questions on this so far?
There's no questions on the chat. There's just a couple comments, and that was so with that all first team agents, they get a Google Drive as part of the Gmail account we provide here, by the way. And also the Dropbox only gives you 2 gigabytes free, and ours gives you 15.
That's a good point.
As a reminder for everybody.
Okay, thank you, Greg. And yeah, I just wanted to show you kind of what I did. And again, we can expand on this. And this is something, if you guys were more interested in learning about, we could have some other classes on it and really dig deep into it on the areas that, you want it to get more paperless on. And again, this is not an all or nothing type of a system. You start out little by little. There were things that I did that, weren't working and abandoned them, and then just, tried other stuff. And if it wasn't working and it didn't save me time and make it easier for me, I got rid of it. So, you got to do that really with everything. I think, if it's complicated and you got to read a manual on it, it's not worth doing. But
Hi, Steve.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have a quick question. This
Sure.
Gloria here.
Right.
When you say that you talk to your phone for your to-do app,
Mhm.
do you ask Siri or do you say something else verbally?
I just press the button on the phone. You can ask Siri, but I just press the button on the phone and say, remind me to do this at 2:00 tomorrow, and it puts it in there.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, that's great. When you're in your car and that kind of thing. I mean, it's just super convenient to keep track of things. Before I was writing Post-it notes and things like that. I remember I got into a fellow realtor's car one day, and I couldn't believe you couldn't see the speedometer on his car. He had so many Post-it notes on his dashboard on stuff he had to do. It was ridiculous. But this just keeps it all in a tidy little place, and it's there until you check it as done, and it will keep reminding you as well. So it's a great way to stay organized. So anyway, once again, this is an easy way to sign your documents if DocuSign does not work, or digital ink, or whatever you use. So moving on with the day. Okay, now I got to show some property. Okay, MLS Touch. How many of you guys are using this? Anybody? Jeremy talked about this on one of the other classes here, and this thing is amazing. This is way better than using the MLS Matrix here. It keeps you logged in. It is super efficient with looking up properties, and it's branded to you as well. So you don't need to print out before you go on your appointments showing property. You can have everything in your phone. You just put it as, okay, I'm showing 3 properties today, so I have it as my favorites. Okay, if I click on one of these, it's got everything on the property. I can pull up the taxes, the schools, everything right from the palm here. And again, it's branded, so I can share it. I can send it to the client, and it will have my number, my information all on it right there, and all the details, all the photos, everything on the property. You don't need to print it out. And then, of course, you have, details on the, showing instructions and all that kind of stuff. So from here, again, I can just click it and send it, text it, email it, and away it goes. So next, I got an open house. So I used the KV Core app for open house, which looks like this. So instead of having a sign-in sheet, I have an iPad that's either on a stand or on the counter. And when people come in, I ask them to register. So I keep it very simple. So normally I have a phone number on here too, but and then there's a couple questions. Do you have an agent? That kind of stuff. What I've found over the years is I could never decipher the email addresses if somebody handwrote them. Therefore, I didn't have them. So whenever I would try to copy, and then you get back, if you had 25 people that signed in, you'd have to sit there and enter everything into your CRM as a new prospect. But this instantly puts it in your CRM, and it will actually, if the person that signs in calls you later in that day, you know who that person is. It'll ID them as the person from the open house. So it automatically goes into your CRM, and if you have it set up with the drip, they'll automatically start getting followed up with immediately. So very simple, and it seems, I don't know about you guys, but I've found people seem to be more apt to sign in on the iPad than they are on a sign-in sheet. So again, no sign-in sheet. We just use this. And also, I know this is controversial, but we do not have flyers at the open house. And people say, oh, well, you got a flyer? And what we do is we say, hey, we're eco-friendly here and paperless. So I'm going to send it to you right now. And what we do is send them something exactly like this. There's a couple different ways. You can send them from KV Core, or you can use the MLS app here, but it has all the information. And again, it's branded information with your info on it. So they have all that information. People are flyers, chances are they have the information on the home before they walked in anyway. So the flyers really are not a big thing anymore with a lot of people. And if there's any way you can, capture their information, that's a benefit. So, if you just kind of assumptively say, oh yeah, here, I'll send it to you right now. What's your number? And then you text it over. And then if they say, well, I'd rather not, say, okay, well, if you want, you send your email here, we can email it to you later if you'd like, but again, they can pull it up on their phone in 2 seconds. So anyway, we've got a busy day here. So we finished our open house. Now we're going on the listing presentation. So the listing presentation is on the computer or iPad. And if you had somebody even come into the open house and needed to do a listing presentation right there, you have all of it digitally set up for you. Now, one of the things we also have in first place or in marketing is a digital link where you can send somebody the entire listing presentation. So after you go through it, you say, I'm going to go ahead and send this to you. So you have this for your information on our marketing plan for your home, along with comparable, information as well. So you then can email them, hey, it was great to meet with you. Look forward to working with you. Here's a copy of, our listing marketing plan for you. And here is a list of comparables for your home. So all of that is sent directly through email. So when we would show up at a listing presentation, we had no paper, nothing, no folders, nothing, but we would let people know that we're eco-friendly and we are, this is the way we're doing it, and we will get them all the information they need. Now, the pushback that I get on this all the time is my clients are older. They're never going to do this. I have, people that are, culturally, they're not using these kinds of things. And what I have to say to that is there are exceptions. I've had situations where I had people that actually had no email, no computer, and, you have to go old school. And I get that. But very, very few people these days have that situation. I sold my mother's home. She's 81. There was no paper in that transaction. She DocuSigned everything. I showed her what she needed to do. It was very simple. She understood it, and we got it done without paper. In the event that you do have somebody that has no email address and needs something put in front of them, you can bring over a tablet and have everything for them to sign on the tablet as well. And if they don't have an email, chances are you're dealing with the family and the kids and whatnot, and you'd want to make sure that they got digital copies of it. And in the event they needed paper copies, make them paper copies. But I try to push people away from that, and 95% of the time, well, I'd say 98% of the time, we're able to do that. Okay, so after our listing presentation, they're going to go ahead and list with us. So we can pull up the DocuSign. We can have this all prepped, ready to go in DocuSign on the tablet. So we go and we just click on what we had saved. And then here, as I said, we've got areas now like from DocuSign and I believe Google Drive, you can scan directly from the platform and you can just upload documents right in there. So now I can decide after they sign what we want to do with it. We can email them, or they'll get a copy. They'll put their email in. They can sign directly from the iPad there and get that done. One of the things that I used to do, very controversial because I was told I was dumb for doing this, but I would not bring a listing agreement to the listing appointment. I would get them to agree. to list with me. And if they said yes, I would stand up, shake their hand, say, great, I look forward to working with you. The paperwork will be sent to you digitally within the hour. And then I would have everything sent over for DocuSign. I think out of every time I ever did that, which was many, I had one person that didn't sign it and called me up, and or they didn't even call me up. I chased them down. They said, yeah, we decided to do something else. And I thought about it, and I thought, well, maybe if I would have had it signed, I would have had the listing. But, I thought to myself, I thought this person's word is no good. So I don't think that's somebody I wanted to work with anyway. So if they agree to hire me and stand up and shake my hand and look me in the eye and tell me I'm hired, I expect to be hired. So I send it to them digitally. There's a lot of things in business that we do. We don't have them sign right there, at that moment. We send the paperwork over and we can go through it with them on Zoom or whatever later if they need to, and take care of whatever the customer needs. All right, any questions so far?
You're doing great, Steve. Any questions for Steve?
Yeah, tell me if I'm losing you guys on anything, because I know,
So
looking
far,
at
so
it
good.
What's that?
I said, so far, so good.
Okay, good deal. Okay, so again, you guys are all familiar with DocuSign, probably. I know many people use, the digital ink and some of these platforms, but DocuSign I have found is the easiest to use. When I'm showing somebody how to do it, it's simple. The digital ink, ironically, is owned by the same company, but it's just not as easy to use. And people have more problems with it. So I do recommend DocuSign and paying for it. It's not that expensive, but it is, you're going to find, going to save you a lot of time and a lot of effort. So again, when somebody's signing directly, you can sign right from the iPad, right on the spot. If you want to have somebody do that, or again, you can send it to them. You click on there, you're ready to roll. And again, you can email it or share it. You can share it anywhere. Again, I could put this directly in Dropbox or Google Drive right from here. So again, you can see, guys, what we're doing is we're pushing things around. What I see people doing, it's just out of force of habit. It's like, I'm going to save it to my computer, and then I'm going to print it, and then I'm going to do something with it, and then I'm going to scan it and put it back in. And we don't have to do that. So it's creating steps that are really, obsolete. So pulling in the files here, again, I can grab a document directly from my Dropbox and I can send it to DocuSign. So once again, it's not on my computer. It's in the cloud. So I can do it from my phone if I'm on the fly. I mean, I had somebody tell me they wanted to list their home while I was driving back from Vegas. I was passenger, and I did the whole thing on my phone. I put the whole listing agreement together, sent it to him, got it signed back, did everything right from the car. So once again, like I said, I can scan directly from the platform here, and it'll scan a document and put it right in the file, right from the app on my phone. Okay, so zip forms, I'm going to go into this a little bit more detail because I know all of you are doing this, chances are, and you are using zip forms and hopefully using digital signatures for your offers and your listings and all that. So I'm going to show you how you can do this from your phone. I mean, it's easier to do from your computer, but in a pinch, you can do it from your phone. And again, and nothing needs to turn into paper here. So we go to, we've loaded it up. Okay. We've got a file, let's say, and we're doing a counter offer. Okay. So I've got contract class here that I have some of these contracts in. So I click this and it pulls up the documents. So I click the one I want and it comes up, seller counter. I get everything filled out and then I hit e-sign right up here. And again, hopefully all you guys are doing this. Now, if you have DocuSign, it will link directly to this platform. So now I hit e-sign and it takes me to this page. If I want to add more documents, I can do that here, but it already has the document that I just sent over, seller counter number 1. So from here, we hit next, takes us here. So I'm using myself And your clients, you can put their information in, whoever it's being sent to, their email, obviously. And it's always good to set up your clients you're working with on DocuSign early so that the information's in there. So if you need to do something on the fly, it's already there. And then I don't know if, how many of you use templates on DocuSign, but if you use the same documents, it will template where the signatures go. You can set it up that way. So when you upload a document, it'll automatically populate where the signatures go. So here we go. We send this off right here, send. We can sign right here if we want to. If you're in front of the people, you can just have them sign directly right there on the spot, or email it to them. And then we know how it goes from there. Now, what I would do when I finally got an assistant is I would call my assistant or just send her something and say, hey, I need this offer written. Here's the details. Please put it in DocuSign. And she would have it completely done in DocuSign with all the signatures ready to go. And I would look through it. And if everything looked okay, if there was something that needed to be done, she'd go and make a correction. But if everything looked good, I would just click it right from the platform there and shoot it off to where it needed to go. So I was able to rifle out offers super fast with this method. And then once again, it's signed, you can email it, you can share it to and put it back in your files if you want in DocuSign or Google Drive. Now, this is, let's see where we got here. So as I mentioned, when you're pulling up, oh, am I making somebody cry?
No, I got it. They just keep unmuting.
So again, when I pulled up share here, okay, this is what pops up. So now I can share it to, I can use AirDrop, if you're an Apple user, and I can send it to somebody's computer that'll just pop on their screen and they can accept it or reject it. I can email it. I can send it to my notes. I can send it to Dropbox, or I can send it to DocuSign right from here. So I decide I'm going to share it back to Dropbox, and I just click on the file, choose, and it goes in my file. So it goes right back in the file cabinet, now the signed version. Okay, so this is a big thing, and I think out of, possibly all the things that I show you today, this might be the most useful to get started with. So this is the email attachment. So when you get an email and somebody sends you an offer or a piece of, a counter or something like that, you click on the attachment. And once you've kind of set up some of these apps, when you click on it, it will give you an option on what you want to do with it. So once again, I can just click on an attachment. If you guys email me a counter offer, I can send it to my Dropbox where I store it, or I can go directly to DocuSign and just send it right from the email to DocuSign. So again, you don't have to print it. You don't have to upload it. You don't even, some people, what I used to do is I just save it to my desktop and then upload it, into DocuSign. This eliminates those steps. I can send it right there directly. And again, it may seem complicated at first. It's not. It's very simple. And once you get used to doing it, you'll wonder how you lived without it. It really is a way to just eliminate these steps. So when you start adding all this up, guys, it is a tremendous amount of time that we spend printing and, signing and filing and, all of these things that we've been used to doing for so long. But as I started out saying, this is the future, and this is what we're going to be forced into. It's already happening with a lot of things, but it's getting momentum here. So once again, I can decide, okay, I'm going to put it in Dropbox here if I decide to, and I can put it back in the file, click listing, choose, boom, it goes right in there. So next up, how do I deal with notes and paper being pushed at me? Well, if you hand me a handwritten note, I will take a photo of it and generally toss it, unless it's, something beautifully written and sentimental from you. But I will just take pictures of things, and then I have a little section in my phone called Notes, and I just throw it in there. It's an album called Notes, and anything that I need to reference later, I just take a picture of, and then I'll decide what to do with it later. But I don't walk around with any paper in my pockets and that kind of thing, because I would lose it and forget about it. So if I don't stay organized, I'm a mess. So I have to keep myself organized. And by this method, mainly, like I said, of being able to go in and type into search anything I'm looking for and be able to find it immediately, it saves tons of time. So if you're looking for motivation, again, to get started on this, just a reminder that photocopier, and I know all of you have had mental anguish over it, like I have, and you can get to the good life. Spend more time doing what you want to do with your family, be more efficient, spend more time getting things done that make you money, and spend less time on the things that drive you crazy. And that concludes the paperless presentation. Do we have some questions?
Hey, Steve, I had a question. I already pay for 2 terabytes of iCloud. How do I organize the things in iCloud?
Well, iCloud's just another, basically storage unit. So you can create files the same way. It works the same way in all of these. So you can create a file, just like on your computer. Like I'll show you here. Like if I want to, on my computer, just create a file. Oh, I ain't gonna let me do that from here. Like in here, for instance. Okay, so if I create, so this is in Dropbox here. I can create a file. I can create a folder.
We can't see what you're doing.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Oh, it paused me. That's weird. Am I back?
No, not yet. It's just it's your screen. Wait, we see your mouse. We see your screen.
That's weird. How about now?
Yeah, now we see you clicking through slides.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'll just tell you, all of these work the same way. You just create a folder. So the folder can be like you saw in my Dropbox. It was, I've got marketing, recordings, my paperless presentation. These things I created folders for. And when you open up the folder, then it has all the contents inside. So whatever files you have, go back to that real quick. So these files are within this. So this was under my active listing folder. I click on that folder, and then the property I picked was right here. So answer to your question, you can do this on your iCloud as well and just create folders and put your files in there and just name them, whatever you want to. And then you can access them directly from there.
And how do you create files on your iPhone the same way as a computer?
Files, you mean like a file like that you'd create for your desktop?
Right. Like you take a picture, a screenshot of an offer, and you want to put it in a file.
Well, that's what, like I said, Dropbox or iCloud or Google Drive would do. So you can take the picture and save it. When you go to save it, it'll give you options on where you want to save it. And you can save it to your file on Dropbox or your file on iCloud or your file on Google Drive. So I'd have to show you, for some reason, the computer's not letting me share my screen here on doing that. But you can give me a call and I can walk you through that. But that is very simple to do. All right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And Sorry for the noise earlier and
Oh, no
unmuting
worries.
myself. So do you have an app that you would recommend for passwords, since all of these create so many passwords that are different?
Yeah, there's a couple ways you can do it. There's apps called vaults. If you just go to the App Store, you can see there's some free ones that you can do where you can put your passwords in there. One of the things I do is I will keep stuff like in notes, but the notes section that I have the passwords in has a password. So I'd need a password to get my passwords. But if you just go to like Google Play, if you're an Android user, or go to the App Store if you're an Apple user, and just look up password storage or the vault, they'll have a number of choices that you can choose from to that are apps where you can store all that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, any other questions?
There's nothing on the chat. Any other questions for Steve?
Good job, Steve.
Thank you. And, again, like I said, kind of, drinking through a fire hose with a lot of this kind of stuff. But I would challenge you all to just take maybe one or two things that I showed you today and just try it and try to eliminate one area of your business that you're creating more work for yourself in. And get yourself into a rhythm of doing the same thing. Once you do it, I guarantee you it's easier than you think, and you'll wonder why you weren't doing it a long time ago. So I'm available for any questions anytime. If you guys would like to contact me, again, I'm Steve Osborne from the Yorba Linda office, and I'd be happy to help you guys. And if you guys are interested in learning more, we could definitely plan another version of this and dive into, whatever particular areas you guys would be interested in.
Thank you, Steve.
Good morning, Greg.
You're
Steve.
welcome.
Hey, Steve.
Good morning.
Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
Is it the right place to nominate Steve Osborne for manager and trainer of the year candidate?
Thanks, Steve. I'll
I second
take you
that
to lunch
nomination,
later.
Steve.
That's Steve looking for a free lunch again.
Oh,
Well, I just want my fellow teammates to know that if you nominate your manager in the month of July, they have to buy everybody a free lunch. So that's what I wanted to get the rest of that story. So
All right, you've earned it, Steve. I'll take
you
care
did
of
a
you.
great job. Thank you. And thank you,
Thank
Greg.
you. Thanks for participating, guys.
yeah, awesome. But before we go, I just want to announce next week's training. So next Wednesday, for our Zoom training, we do have, it's a tech training by Kaylee Ryan. It's going to be a topic. It's going to be the Lucid Press's new brand. So it's going to be marquee. It's spelled M-A-R-Q. There's new highlighting, or going to be highlighting the new important features, because there is new features for this. And so everybody wants to attend. So this is Lucid Press with a new brand becoming marquee. So that's next Wednesday with Kaylee Ryan at 9 a.m. So we appreciate everyone being part of First Team. This is recorded. This will be on First Place later. We appreciate you, Steve. Thank you for being you and what you do and being part of First Team.
You're welcome. And thank you, Greg. And just one thing I just wanted to mention to everybody, I go back and listen, like if I wasn't able to make some of these, I mean, there's really some great content on that. So don't miss some of this great stuff that is, past classes that were done, and you can listen to it while you're, in your office doing something. But I'm finding myself going back further and further and listening to really some great presentations that were made. So thank you, Greg. I think this is a terrific platform.
Awesome.
I agree.
We appreciate Steve. We appreciate everyone being part of our team, and we'll see you
pleasure.
next time. All right. Take
Thank
care,
you,
everybody.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thanks,
Steve.
Steve.
Thanks, Greg.
Have a good
Bye.
time. Thank you. See you, Rachel.
Bye. Bye.